Bong Joon-ho's Parasite. Wow. Hi, my name's Drew and welcome to another review video on my channel. Today I will be talking about Bong Joon-ho's Parasite, which I finally got to see. It was released very recently on Amazon Prime. I was going to buy it anyway, but seeing as it was released on there, I just had to take the chance and watch it immediately. As you may or may not know, it won the Oscars last time. It was a big controversy because it not only won the best foreign film, it won the best film overall. That was obviously one of the reasons that I particularly wanted to see it, because also everywhere I saw people talking about the film, they had nothing but praise for it. So after seeing it myself, I can only agree that it deserves all the accolades it has gotten. It is a fantastic film. It is very, very unique. I've never seen a film like it. And usually I do put some spoilers in my film. This time I'm going to refrain from doing that, so I'll only talk about the very, very basic plot. But beyond that, I won't say anything because I really want you to watch this film like I did, going in without knowing pretty much anything about it except the basic plot. Because there's so much that happens in this. We paused the film at 52 minutes in to get a drink or whatever, and I couldn't believe at that point even how much had already transpired in the film. I thought we'd already been watching for an hour and a half, but it was only 52 minutes, so there's so much going on. But don't worry, I don't mean there's too much going on, definitely not. So the story, the most basic way I could describe it is you've got two families. It's set in South Korea, by the way. These two families, one of them is rather poor and the other one is very rich. And the son starts working for the very rich family. He gives English lessons to their daughter, and that's where the story takes off. And that's pretty much all I'll talk about when it comes to that. It gets very, very complex very, very quickly. And it keeps going until the end. So until the end, you're not quite sure how is this going to continue, how is it going to resolve, what on earth is going to happen next. There's just so much that occurs here. The main reason people watch this film and recommend it so highly is because of the class issues it deals with. So as I mentioned at the start, you've got one poor and one very rich family, and their differences become very, very apparent. The thing is though, that at least for me, the two families, it wasn't black and white, so it wasn't like the poor people are the good guys and the rich people are the bad guys. Pretty much everything is a grey area, so all the people in the film, in both families, it's all very, very grey. Because they all get up to things that are both lovely and endearing, but also things that are not really okay with, I'll call it. One thing I can definitely agree on is that all the actors are fabulous. I remember seeing a comment made in a Screen Junkies video where somebody said that the whole ensemble deserved an Oscar. I absolutely agree, because I watched it in Korean, by the way, which I recommend to you as well. As per usual, watch it in the original language if you can. I was watching it with German subtitles because that's all they offered here. Well, and Korean subtitles, of course, but I can't read them. And it was great because you could follow along all the true acting of all the people involved. And they all did a fabulous job. It's quite interesting, even though you're reading subtitles, you're still able to focus on the people quite a lot. Because you don't know the language, you're able to focus more on their emotions and what they're displaying, how they're saying things, because you don't understand what they're saying. You have these good people who very nonchalantly just talk about doing bad things to other people, and the other way around. All the rich people as well, you have them discussing various things, and it's really the actors who show you, besides the directing, but I'll get to that in a moment. The actors really show you in that instance how the character feels about this. So only just because they're talking about something doesn't necessarily mean you also feel the same way about it. These nuances are done really brilliantly by the actors. Now the second and probably also very obvious, or at least very much talked about factor that brings out everything in the characters is the directing. The story was also written by Bong Joon-ho, which really amazes me. He's done the screenplay. Well, he did it with a few other people, but basically he was involved in all of the story. The basic story, as I understand, is by him, and then he worked with a few other collaborators to make the screenplay. But even the directing, it helps a lot to tell the story, because you've got all these scenes and there's so much happening in this film, and there's so many people, so many characters, but at the same time it feels like every scene is necessary. Each scene does a bit to show you each person's characteristics, their emotions, how they're reacting to a situation or to something that's been said or so. So it's one of these films, I feel like the more you pay attention to it, the more you're rewarded, because you get a much fuller picture. It's little things, and again, this is where also the actors come in. They do such a brilliant job at showing you just the smallest of reactions, where you can, to me it felt like you can see right into their brain and know what they're thinking. In terms of the directing, there's so much going on in the film, it switches up the genres actually quite a lot, if you ask me. There's some small scenes in there that have got a slight horror film feeling to it, or slightly thriller-esque type. There's a lot of tension in some scenes, and it flows flawlessly, and the camera is always placed excellently to transmit exactly that feeling that they want you to have at that moment. I definitely had my skin crawling at some point. So like I say, there's some horror-esque things in there. It's not a horror film, but still there's some scenes in there, they definitely made my hair stand up. The setting itself is largely at the rich family's home, which is a big, very, very big house. It's sort of mansion-esque, with a lovely garden, with the luscious green grass, and obviously the house itself has got vast open areas. It's obviously all very beautiful to look at, which you then have the complete opposite to, which is the poor family's house, their apartment, which is in a basement. So the only window they have looks out onto the street, onto the pavement. So basically at their eye level, they've got the pavement of the street. And so obviously it's a huge contrast to what we have seen, and they're obviously living very cramped. What I like about it is they are not dragged down by this. So I love the dynamic in both families actually, but especially in the poor family's one, because you can see that they've all really got a very deep connection with each other. At the same time, the rich family shows that they're not just superficial, they also have their issues that they deal with and explore and need to sort out within the family. As I said, the directing does a very good job of showing you all the things necessary to really understand each and every one of the characters. And it brings it all together into one continuous story. As I said, there's so much going on in this film, but it does not feel like it at all. At the end of it, maybe like me, you'll feel like you just can't believe what you've just seen, all the things that happen in here. Story, it's got twists and turns that I definitely did not expect, and as with many of my favourite films, it really makes you think about how you treat other people, how you want to be treated, what society should be doing to better itself. Sounds very much like a boring cliche in that, but I feel this film really, really deserves to have that attributed to it. A nice wee tidbit, if you, like me, you're a Taekwondo practitioner, there are two instances where I felt reminded of Taekwondo theory. If you're also a Taekwondo practitioner and you picked up on those two, let me know down in the comments below, or ask me about them if you want to know in detail what I'm talking about. One of them's a number and the other one's a person. The person is very, very obvious, the number isn't so much. That concludes my review. As you can tell, I really, really love this film, and probably from all the films I've seen until now and done a review for on my channel, this is the one I'd say that you should watch the most. Although there was some really great films until now, this has been the best. And if you have the time, if you have any streaming service that it's on, if it's available to you, definitely get it and have a look. I don't feel you would regret it. If you do, or if you loved it, please let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and talk about all these things in the film. And if you enjoyed this review, please like, share, subscribe, do all those wonderful things. It really helps out the channel. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.